Good evening. Been asked to do a reading, so it is how the Divine Masculine feels about the Karmic and how the Karmic feels about the Divine Masculine at this current time. How is their situation? And as Divine Feminines, of course, we know not to worry about what's going on over there. But since I was asked to do this reading, I'll put it out there. So we've called in the Divine Masculines, higher selves, and their spirits to be a totem for the Divine Masculines. Spirit, give us true and precise messages. Overall energy for the Divine Masculine. Overall energy for the Divine Masculine today regarding his karmic. Yeah. And the overall energy for the karmic, how she feels about the Divine Masculine. The karmic, how she feels about the Divine Masculine. Thank you. Alright, so this is a card of aggression towards the divine. This is going to get the Divine Masculine has aggression towards the karmic. He feels rigid regarding this, trying to be in control. Perhaps she's controlling and belittling him. He's blaming her, she's blaming him. Perhaps he's trying to ignore that situation and just be numb to it. You know how when you get stung enough times it just feels like it's numb, but it still hurts. So this is, you know, like trying to work together for the right collective purpose, but they're very aggravated and agitated, so they just keep stinging. This is the fire ants. Okay, so the karmic, since I don't usually do karmic readings, hiding themselves. The oyster is all about them hiding their true selves inside. They are masterful, usually artists, secret keepers. They like to hide things, hide their inner treasures or what they believe to be their hidden treasures. They keep them hidden. Their true selves, they wear masks. Some of them are actually even spiritual to the sense of perhaps magic, using magic or dark magic. I get a lot of blackness here, a lot of darkness. Very emotional and dramatic, like drama. Like a master theater person, someone who can put on a show. Okay, the hummingbird can go both ways. Sometimes this can be where it's very beautiful, but you see right now it's highlighted is the red throat chakra, so saying hateful things, always being nitpicky. Being, where's the sacred nectar? Always looking for something to sweeten their day. Something, always needing something more, I guess the word would be. Like they're always in search of something. Like once they get it, it's just not enough, and then they need something more. Like in search of. Like the hummingbird, usually always in search of the sacred nectar, right? But the Divine Masculine is not her sacred nectar. The Divine Masculine belongs to the Divine Feminine, so she has her own soulmate or soul purposes she needs to go find. So missing that, like staying, not going to the, not being enlightened to that effect, staying very emotional in the drama, in the dramatic. Also, hummingbirds are very protective. They sting with their beak, they bite or poke, whatever. to attack. That's their defense mechanism, is that long beak. When someone gets close to their nest, or their or an animal gets close to their nest, or perhaps even their eggs, they defend it by their beak, with their mouth, in other words, their throat, words, their words, yes. They're very defensive in their words, Spirit said. Right, Spirit, give us true and precise messages how the divine masculine feels about the karmic at this time, this very moment today. What's going on with the divine masculine in regards to the karmic? Pick it up. Alright, so give me the cards for the karmic, how she is towards the divine masculine, towards her toxic soulmate, I guess. Really, they would be toxic soulmates to each other, so I'll refer to it that instead of divine. Spirit, give me true and precise messages of the karmic in regards to hers. Overall energy between the two. What's their energy mixed with together? What's their energy together? Toxic, yeah. Basically for sex and money. Remember, some of these messages, if you if they trigger you, then I suggest that just shows that you have inner healing to do. So, true and precise messages for the 8 of Cups. Let's see how this plays out first. Give me true and precise messages with the 8 of Cups, choosing his divine, turning his back to his choices. Okay. And the King of Cups. The 9 of Swords. King of Wands. King of Wands. Anything else to listen on? And the Strength card. Okay, and now for the karmic. me her messages of her energy towards the masculine. How is she towards her, not her masculine, but the divine, beyond the divine masculine. Clarify the Four of Coins. Clarify the Fool card in reverse. Clarify the Fool card in reverse. My energy always gets very heavy and like doing anything with the karmic reads, which is why I don't usually do them. It's just a very different energy. Almost like an annoyance that energy. Karmics, they were fighting a lot today. A little while ago. Probably an hour ago. It's 5:12 now, somewhere around 4 o'clock. A lot of the divine masculines were having arguments or fighting, yelling. Okay, clarify the faith card here. Having faith of what? Trying to clarify the faith card. What's she having faith about? Energy. Clarify the moon card for the karmic. Clarify the moon card for the karmic. Clarify the High Priestess. What's the High Priestess doing here? Anything more for High Priestess? I guess so. Okay. The last two cards. Clarify this Lovers. Why is this Lovers here with the karmic? What else about the Lovers card with the karmic? What about the karmic? And this harvest time, the coins. Okay. Okay, starting off, this is the divine, top was divine masculine, if you remember, and the lower is the karmic. So what the divine masculine has been thinking about all day was the divine feminine, turning his back on the Karmic and all his other options as far as other women and so forth. He's waist deep in emotions here. So not quite drowning in his emotions, but also what I've noticed with this card is underneath the water he is almost like half octopus. The octopus tries, when it's stressed, tries to be invisible at times. So this, since it's drawing my attention to it, this reminds me of while he's with the Karmic, he's probably just trying to numb himself, perhaps through alcohol or other means, to just be invisible to the energy that's there with him when he's there with her. Page of Swords here is he wants to escape. He wants to fly out of this situation. He's been getting signs and synchronicities. We have a hawk here with this card of him departing, trying to fly out of this situation. And the hawk is there to say, be true to yourself. The hawk is a messenger from spirit to say, be true to yourself, and now's the time. So there's that card. And he feels like he can barely hang on, and that the Karmic is just there trying to push him over the edge no matter what. Like all these weeds all around, and she's just standing there with her staff that's a cobra, trying to, if he gets up above, if he starts to get a handle on life or on the situation, she knocks him back down, so he struggles and is just waiting for him to fall to his demise, right? But everything is out of control. The whole place is all weeds, meaning that it's, and weeds in a garden will strangle out the good viable plants, right? They choke out, I think it's called choke out the other plants. So strangle, choke, same thing, right? So he knows he is the King of Cups, and he's trying to go within while he's still residing or in touch with this situation for whatever reason. He's trying to go within and heal himself so he can find inner peace. We have the two magical, or the, actually there's four representing stability here of the seahorses, which are a very peaceful sea creature, right? They just bob around. So he's trying to find inner peace and be just fill his own cup with love for himself right now, being true to trying to heal himself within as a King of Cups. He knows that he's this three-party situation stinks for many. There have been 3 other women plus himself, 4 other women plus himself, multiple times. If he couldn't find what he was finding with the Divine Feminine, he would go searching for another online person to meet up with, or a co-worker, etc. But that a lot of times how this person treated women was more like a game to him, more of a notch on his belt, a feather in his hat, but pretending to be something he wasn't, trying to fulfill a void that the Karmic wasn't filling. He's recently gone through transformation and the death and rebirth of his soul. So he's no longer in the on the zombie level of regular earthlings. Once he's been awakened, or like once the Divine Feminine has come into contact enough to awaken him or start him on his awakening journey, then he begins his transformation and healing process. And now this Divine Masculine group has transformed completely from the caterpillar out of the cocoon into the butterfly stage, where they are able to fly and spread their wings and fly and transform and shine brightly like the Divine Feminine did when she took her power as a high priestess, and they just glow. So a lot of people around are noticing the Divine Masculine just glowing and shining brightly now. This is an ending of this old way and a beginning of a new, and for many of these they're having, Spirit said, they are currently going through their death and rebirth of their soul, so that they can have that complete vision of awakening to recognize the error of their ways. They've had this divine masculine group has many sleepless nights of all the heartache, all the backstabbing that not only have they done to the divine feminine or other women or other men, because this could be a woman, gender doesn't matter. So sleepless nights, not only on the harm and hurt and pain that they have caused maliciously, but also to what the pain and sorrow that the karmic has done to them, all the times they've been backstabbed and so forth. So this is keeping them up at night. And this is weird, because I wish I should have a magnifying glass, because this, like, you have these swords, and then this one sword, but then behind it are these spirits, like with these like mouths, almost like snakes, coming down out of this sword, kind of like whispering in her ears, so she has nightmares. Okay, yeah, exactly. The nightmares, because of all the masks he's worn, his devil energy, the masks he's worn, several different, at work he's this mask, at home he's this mask, at friend's house is this mask, you know, with the divine feminine, a different mask. He doesn't even know who he truly is. He needs to learn about himself, be true to himself, and find out who he truly is. Look in a mirror and say, hey, who are you? Truly to be himself. But with this also is the fact that there's magic here being done, a lot of evil, dark energy around these masculines right now, because some of the ones that have not already joined into union with their divine feminines, or left the karmic at the very least, turned away from this evil energy, this karmic energy. It's a karmic cycle. They were in to learn lessons. That cycle ended, and when they chose to stay, that started that cycle of karmic lessons over for them. But some karmics were doing voodoo, some are doing magic. Here you have this voodoo doll that's all bound up. So this could be the same, similar divine masculines that the other day I picked up a voodoo doll. It's almost like a puppet. There's a small voodoo doll the karmic is using, has rope tied around it, and is using it as a binding spell for the divine masculine to stay with her and not leave her. Alright, that, if I remember, it was it's like in a craft room or a craft drawer, something like that. Craft meaning things they make. So maybe if they sew a lot or something, I don't know, maybe they even made the pop-up themselves. But a lot of dark energies off of this that he is being surrounded with. These divine masculines need black tourmaline for sure. Divine feminines, you could certainly get your divine masculine some black tourmaline and give it to them and tell them to keep it with them. Alright, so the other, also with this, is Justice card. You have the two vultures there. And they're cleaning up the things that are dead, not only the dead that no longer serve this masculine, but all the masks, all the faces that he's worn in the past, because he's gone through this transformation and rebirth. These masks are no longer needed. He needs to be in his true self and be true to himself, and he needs to stand in his truth. He needs to allow himself to be vulnerable, just as she's here naked, because the masks have all been removed. The masculine is the king, stepping out of this situation. The divine masculine is coming across as a king of wands, better than the knight of wands, or step up, I should say, from the knight of wands, right? Because he's stepping into his power. He knows the one he should have chose, and maybe he's just figuring that out again. Maybe he's trying to make a plan. He's protecting the flame, though, and he may not even yet be aware as to why he's protecting the flame. But as time goes on, Spirit will enlighten him. So this is Again, many spirits visiting him in his dreams and in his night. Also, they are receiving birds for synchronicities in their sleep and around their home, around their work. See the bird there? But also this is a message to them to tell this divine masculine that he is a healer, that he has all the tools within himself to escape the situation, to heal himself from the black magic, but also to heal others, and that he is a healer and he needs to be in purpose, he needs to be in mission, as this depicts him healing this older man. Okay, the Princess of Drums coins, right? The mama bear protecting the cub, but really it's just the energy of that bear protecting the family energy, but self also. When a bear goes into hibernate, they eat all they can, get, stock up on their food for them and their family so that they eat, and then they go hibernate. When they come out, then they go hunt for more food, but they eat first so that they can protect that cub, protect their inner child. So this is about doing what's right for yourself, healing yourself, and healing your inner child for the divine masculine. Princess of Rocks here is the Princess of Cups. The one he thinks of, that he feels the energy of her. The feminine, the divine feminine that he longs for, the one in his 5D dreams that he thinks of, being surrounded in this energy of calm waters, passion. There's a lot of pink passion all around her, and he just thinks she's so beautiful. Okay, so now we have the Strength card, but he's trying to have the strength, and for some reason he just can't find the strength within himself. He is trying to, but he feels like the Karmic is controlling his mind, and no matter how he tries or who he tries to be, this is like a masculine trying to come across as a lion or come across as a tiger, but either way, the divine or the Karmic is controlling their minds, his mind, with the spell work or with games, mental games, brain games, whatever you call them, mind games. Maybe even with guilt. Perhaps there's children involved where they're guilting them for abandoning family or something, or not being loyal to them, and so forth. But they're trying to find the strength, but for some reason they feel like someone else is controlling them, or someone else is in control of their life. The sun will come out. The spirit is showing them birds as synchronicity to show them that to fly above the storm, to get themselves up out of this so that they can celebrate. Okay, so on the Karmic's energy currently is greed. These Karmics are after your divine masculine, mostly for either for their money or for them to support them, allow them to support them. Their greed. You can see the greed in this man's eyes. Right, greedy for their time, greedy for their what they can do for the Karmic, greedy for the money, for the attention. They're not in of a high vibration, or of a very low vibration. So this is the 9 of Wands or 9 of Bones, where they just keep the devil energy on the tail of the divine masculine, making him feel trapped between two walls here, and then watching almost like it's their entertainment. Also get the energy that other people are watching this happen. They're well aware of the control this Karmic has over these masculines. Also a lot of sex energy, sensually, not sensually stimulating, sensually seducing them, to keep them in that low vibe devil energy, and staying with them. But the Chariot does want to move forward, even though it seems chaotic. Spirit is trying to move this Chariot forward. But there is self-will, so if he refuses and decides willingly to stay with it, then that's his self-will, and he just has to continue with that cycle. We have here in reverse the Fool card. Upright, of course, that's taken the leap of faith. in reverse, it's not taking a leap of faith, because they don't want forward movement. They don't want that divine masculine to move forward. So they don't, the only faith they're holding to is keeping them stuck, tied in they want to keep the masculine tied up with the Nine of Swords energy, bound, even though it's only with their mind games, thinking them that they're tied there, they're stuck, they can't move, that they can't leave this karmic. And Spirit keeps showing them that they're, just look up and surrender, and they will remove him from that situation. Instead, he stays in the Five of Drums, Five of Coins situation with his life out of control with the karmic. That pretty much that's a description visually to describe his life with this karmic. So they're laughing at them, they belittle them, they treat them poorly, they yell at them, I hear a lot of belittling words when I get messages or hear messages. But these are also, some of this is also the many masks he's tried to wear to please this karmic, and nothing works. And other people around them are just laughing at him because they see his life falling out of control. Because he's not manning up, he's not being strong enough to stand up against her. She's she's having faith. The karmic is having faith that she can come between the divine masculine and his faith. To come between the divine masculine and his divine feminine. And she keeps haunting him and seducing him. So Spirit keeps trying to show him that he's pretending to be something he's not. He's not meant to be here in the animals like a wild man person. Illuminating the devil energy, illuminating the satanic energy that this masculine has been intoxicated with, really, with this karmic, and how poisonous this karmic is to him. Even when he's trying to be a Knight of Bones, Knight of Wands, trying to move forward, he still has 3 masks on his head, doesn't even know which mask to wear, and is still wrapped and controlled by that snake of a karmic. She just wraps herself around him no matter where he goes. Energetically, he feels her darkness all over him. When in reality, she's just trying to keep him from gaining that strength, because she knows that he could be a King of Cups. But she doesn't want him to raise up to that power. She wants to keep him in this king page so she can control him. And again, with the control, the moon energies, the shadow side, the things that it be illuminated, this karmic keeps him tethered like a dog to her, not making sure he checks in with her regularly, making sure that he is home on time, making sure she checks his cell phone perhaps to see who he's messaging, who he's calling, who's he visiting, is he at work. This person calls his work to check on him. She makes a lot of noise. While meanwhile she sits around seducing him, pretending to be the divine feminine, trying to convince him that she is his divine feminine and that she is a soulmate. She's trying to convince him that they belong together, that she is the Princess of Cups. But in reality, this is her, the Princess of Wands, with her Prince of Wands there, Page of Wands. And you see this staff that she uses to walk with is a cobra. Hold that up. Then she has a snake on her leg. Even as she walks, every step she takes has a snake energy, something deceitful, like Lucifer and himself in this body. She keeps him seduced and bound to her through spell work. This rope is wrapped around her 3 times, 3 being a spiritual number, right? 3 times 3 times 3. Body, mind, and soul is tied to her at the sacral chakra region. So sexually he's tied to her, and she seduces him with her, you know, teasing him or whatnot. But what it really feels like is this anaconda, this boa constrictor over here squeezing this pillar, and he feels like when he's with her, like he's being squeezed by this giant snake that she keeps at her side, and commands it. Just as she commands him to do everyday tasks, he has to clean the house or do this for her, pick up the kids, do this, do that. She doesn't want to lift a finger. She's, what do they call that, a diva, in her own mind. But then he's still going, even though she can treat him this way, she can present this way, she can keep him tied down. The Spirit still is working out the soul level, transforming him, giving him the rebirth. So he's, from the soul level, still growing. Plus the Divine Feminine and her High Priestess, if she heals herself, she heals his soul and his heart, opening his heart chakra so that he still is on his awakening journey, even though he's trapped with this. So he's still able to then look in the mirror and see the person that is in the mirror is not who he wants to be. It's not who he thought he was. It's not who he wants to present as. And he knows that he needs to correct the error of his ways. Right? Again, with the karmic is tied to him through the snake on her arm, a binding spell. But even when he tries to take a leap forward, she holds him back. She pulls on his the rope, very rope that binds him at his sacral chakra. She pulls back and is pulling at him so that he is not able to take that leap. You see how it's this is right around his waist level, or below his waist level, and the dog is pulling it backwards so that he's not able to jump forward. Alright, hang on. Oh, wow. Spirit's still in control. So to the Divine Feminines, don't lose faith, have hope that he will eventually awaken. You just keep healing yourself and sending him positive healing energy in the 5D, healing his inner child in the 5D, you know, sending him love through. And if you're still in communication, if you haven't pulled back your energy from the communication part yet to draw them towards you, then still just keep everything positive and light. Don't add to the drama, don't add to their stress. Clearly you can see they're already stressed to the max, and Spirit is working on their inside soul level, because we love and we shine and we grow from the inside out. Spirit is working in this matter as Spirit is here, and he's thrusting this Divine Masculine forward. Whether he wants to go or not, he will move forward. He will get in that chariot and move forward when the time, with divine timing. And he will move to the High Priestess at that point. Spirit is showing him that you, the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine, mirror one another, that you are one soul. He's being enlightened and being shown these visions in his dreams with his spirit guide speaking to him. He's being, this connection is being illuminated by Spirit to the Divine Masculine so he can see and not to get trapped by this karmic, because he has the High Priestess, and Spirit is showing him who you are, Divine Feminine, that you are the light to his darkness, that you already see without a veil. You see the things of the past, the present, and the future, that you see the truth behind lies, you see into their tomorrows, and you heal them. And no matter, even the karmic knows that you are the High Priestess. The High Priestess was clarified by the High Priestess card. And even the karmic knows you are the High Priestess, that you are in your power, and that you make her scared. You intimidate her as well, which is why she's going to the extent of spell work or voodoo, because she doesn't have the power to match a High Priestess, because you are of the divine. It's a divine connection. And she's no match for the Great Spirit. Oh. I gotta, hang on. but overall energy, as they met as lovers because of sexual attraction here, those two were lovers, so seducing one another sexually. And they thought perhaps they mirrored each other. They thought perhaps because it was such a draw to one another, like the forbidden fruit. In reality, it was just a karmic lesson the masculine had to learn on how to treat women, or how to handle love, how to grow, and how to detach from certain energies. But Spirit is still giving them lessons, even though they may still be together sexually or not sexually. Nonetheless, Spirit is still showing him, still giving them death and rebirth, carrying his spirit forward to grow towards the divine feminine. No matter how much the karmic, this Princess of Swords with the vultures that she carries with her so that they can pick apart the meat from the carcasses, she can try as she will, but Spirit will still be there to protect this connection. And we'll, let's see, she's pulling him and illuminating the fact of the three-party situation, putting an end to the three-party situations so that he's no longer seduced by these other persons. And it could be a she with he, you know what I'm saying? I mean, gender is as you, however you see it for your situation. Don't get caught up on the gender, I guess I should say. This is an older man with a beard and a mustache, with the three naked ladies entertaining him here. Okay, because he used women, he didn't respect women in the sense he thought he was using the women he was having encounters with were for entertainment, to just appease him while he had to go home to this. And Spirit is showing him now that he needs to look at it from a higher perspective if he wants to grow internally, to open his heart chakra and see things how he's been from a higher perspective. The seeds that have been planted by the divine masculine for the manifestations, the things that he's dreamt of. And remember that at some point, in order for the divine feminine and divine masculine to meet up, he manifested this. He perhaps fell to his knees begging Spirit for someone that could understand him, someone that would love him unconditionally for who he is, and someone that could understand him. I just keep hearing he just wanted to be understood, just wanted to be someone like-minded maybe. So he's planted that seed, he manifested this connection, and now that the growth is here, it's time to bring in the harvest. There's true precise messages for the divine masculines. Thought I had them split. There. Okay, so for the divine masculines, you have sadness and isolation. I know they're isolating themselves from the karmic, and they sometimes might even feel that dark night of the soul, where they are starting to see all the things they did to hurt the divine feminine or other people per se, perhaps their deceit, their evil ways, and to accept that, forgive yourself for the situation and release it to the ethers by forgiving and having mercy on yourself, right? So don't get sad, don't go into a depression and low vibration. You need to raise up your vibration with forgiveness so that you can move forward. Don't isolate yourself unless it's from the karmic, I suppose. Isolate yourself with anything from the low vibrational people in your life, I should say, right? Strengthening the bonds with positive, with high vibration, strengthening your bond with yourself, with spirit. And it's time, as that divine masculine, you take the lead. It's time to step it up. Spirit, the very urgent messages are, the time is here, the time is now. You need to step up the game. You need to get the courage you need, or just move forward without the courage, but you need to step it up and lead, take the lead in this connection. That you mirror one another, but when the divine feminine steps back, she's pulling her energy back because it's time for the masculine to do his job. Man up. Just embrace this connection, embrace your new beginning, your mission, your soul purpose. And above all else, seek the truth and be in truth. Give me messages regarding the karmic. What advice do you have for a karmic cross-watcher? This is their karmic soul. Toxic soulmate. Just let the situation flow. Heal yourself from the east, the south, the west, the north, but let it flow. And get grounded with base chakra. And a love. Just love yourself, love others. You have a true love. The karmic has another true love at a distance that they need to, are expected to move on to. They already have, almost all of them already have a significant other elsewhere, a third party aside from the person that they're living with. Any advice for divine feminines viewing this video to help them heal any triggers? Any advice for the divine feminines for healing any triggers? Seek balance and peace. Meditate on this. Go within. Heal that inner child wound, whatever is triggered. Manifest your connection. Confront the pain. Confront the pain that this might trigger, or confront the shadow side of yourself, and forgive yourself and move forward. Get in, start your in soul purpose. You're supposed to be in soul purpose and in mission, and start that route, right? Set up your boundaries with the masculine, and then pull your energy back and get in mission. So that then the magnetic pull will pull the masculine away from the karmic and towards you. The more you're in mission, the more you move forward and heal yourself, you glow and you grow, not only, and you shine brighter, and this pulls him to you. Share the love that you have learned, share with others, and listen to your spirit guides, listen to the divine source. The messages from this. If you're seeing the spirit, angel number 1010, it means encouragement, a reminder to remain positive. When is the first time you felt that jealousy? If you're watching this and it caused you to feel jealous, when did you feel jealous the first time as a child? Ask the spirit to give you that vision, to show you, so you can then listen, release, and let it go. Forgive yourself when you felt it as a child. Perhaps you felt like you weren't good enough as a child compared to your siblings, or your parents felt, perhaps you felt abandoned as a child. But go within and heal that. Forgive yourself for feeling it and release it. Did you choose money or unconditional love, Divine Masculine? Did you stay with the Karmic because it was money issue? This was a test, and if you chose to stay for money, then you are now bound to her for another cycle. You have to stick it out for another cycle to learn that lesson of choosing wrong, for not listening to spirit, for not listening to your spirit guides. You were supposed to spread your wings, trust, and fly. These are channeled messages. It was a test. Did you pass or start a new cycle with karma? Evidently, a few people have started a new cycle with karma because that's the second one. Sorry. Move forward. Truth will set you free. Lies are your block. So yes, absolutely. If you're trying to move forward and you can't figure out why you can't get this, perhaps ask yourself, what lies are you still telling yourself? What lies are you still telling your counterpart? Or have you not, maybe it's a lie you told a while back, but you still need to come in your truth. It's kind of like a confession time, right? Yes, of course it is. And time is now. Meditate as spirit guide to show you the past traumas that you need to heal. Nurture your unique talent and get into mission. It's pretty much a repeat of the message we got here. So this is what I have for you of how the Divine Masculine feels about the Karmic and how the Karmic feels about the Divine Masculine, or about the Divine Feminine for that matter. But I hope you have a blessed day and continue to raise your vibration and love yourself. Namaste.